Hi everyone, I hope you're well. I am so gassed to be doing today's video. What I'm going to be doing is testing some potential Aldi dupes of my everyday makeup. So obviously I've got my makeup done here. One side of my face is Aldi dupes, the other side is my regular, more high-end makeup. Before we go any further, I would love for you to tell me which side you think is which. Okay. Please do leave a guess down in the comments because after doing this, I really don't think that you can tell, but let me know. So I have got my receipt from Aldi right here, and I have bought a selection of products that are supposed to be dupes for more high-end things, and I'm going to go through them with you. So first up, I bought the Snapshot Ready Illuminating Primer. It looks like this. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Smashbox primer, and it was £5.99. So this is £6. Somebody let me know how much the Smashbox primer is. I don't know off the top of my head. Going to be testing this. The one that I am by far the most excited for, the Lacura Blush, which, as you might be able to tell by the packaging, is supposed to be a dupe for the NARS Orgasm Blush, my favourite blush of all time. So very, very excited. I bought both shades that Aldi do, which are called Coral and Candy, and these are £4.99 each. I mean, I think the NARS blush retails for like £25 or something, so excited to get into that one. I also bought a liquid pen eyeliner, which looks like this. I quite like the packaging for this actually. I think it's quite bold, quite fun. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Benefit roller liner, I believe, but I'm trying it to see if it's a dupe for the NYX Epic Ink Liner, my favourite eyeliner of all time. This one was £2.79, so very, very cheap. And the final thing I bought, which I thought I kept the packaging for, but I can't see it anywhere on my desk, is the Lacura Makeup Setting Spray. Pretty sure this is the matte one, because they do two. It looks like this. It was £3.99, and it's supposed to be a dupe for the Urban Decay Setting Spray. So I'm going to put up here that this is what the Aldi products cost me, and this is what the potential dupes would have cost me if I was using those. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm so excited, oh my god. The first dupe product that I'm going to be going in with is the Lacura Illuminating Primer. This is what it looks like. I don't know if it actually does look like the same packaging as the Smashbox primer, which this is supposed to be a dupe for, because even though I've heard amazing things about Smashbox, it's just a little bit out of my price range. The primer that I use if I am wanting to like dress up or if it's a special occasion is the Benefit Professional Primer, which I just love, think it works fantastic. And the primer that I use when I'm just essentially sitting in my room doing makeup for fun is the Revolution Blur Stick, which also works really, really well. So, you know, the Blur Stick in particular is a lot cheaper than the Smashbox primer. So what I've done is I am gonna be doing like my normal makeup on this side of my face. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the Snapshot primer and go in on this side. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see a real difference, but this is what it looks like. This is the tip, and first impressions is that it feels a lot more like a moisturizer than my Benefit one does, and I don't typically like that kind of consistency in a primer. That's just a personal thing though, like I don't think really that it will affect the way that it works. It's just when I put the Benefit Professional Primer on, it just feels so like velvety and smooth on my face. That's one of the things that I really, really love and keeps me going back to that primer in particular. But here's just after I put it on. Like I said, I'm not sure that my camera quality is good enough for you to be able to tell a difference. Looking in the mirror straight off the bat, this side with the Benefit Professional does look a lot more blurred, and this side again looks like I maybe have like sun cream on or something. But no judgment. I'm gonna go and see how my foundation applies over the top. Here's what my foundation and concealer look like before being set with powder. So this is the Aldi side, this is the Benefit Professional side. I honestly can't see a massive difference as yet. Don't know if my camera's picking this up. These are really flattering angles for me, aren't they? But you know what, I'm not mad about it. I did actually wear this out the other night when I was in like a Valentine's kind of more creative drag makeup look, and honestly it was fine. Like, I feel like I have a really high standard for primers because my eye primer and my face primer I just love and have used for years and years and years. But honestly, I think that the Aldi primer held up really well over a long period of time when I wore it out, and I was actually wearing white foundation on part of my face as well, and I think that is really, really hard to get to like go on evenly over a primer or over your skin. So it really held its own, and I think this was like, I think it's like £4, so definitely worth a try if you like the Smashbox primer already. Here is my face powdered and freshly contoured. I think it's looking pretty good, but honestly I'm just so excited to move on because this part of the video is the whole reason that I even wanted to film this video, and this is because these two Lacura blushes are supposedly dupes of my absolute favourite blush of all time, the NARS Orgasm Blush. I only discovered this recently after I signed up to get a tiny little free sample of it on TikTok. I'd never really, like, I've got a lot of blushes. I never used to be a blush girl when I was a teenager, you know, this big emo kid, so blush wasn't really our thing. But I've totally fallen in love with it over the last couple of years, and now my blush collection is just insane. But this one for me really just like trumps them all. It's so gorgeous, and I can't believe that I didn't have it in my life before earlier this year. So I picked up two shades of the blushes. One is Coral, one is Candy. Coral is supposedly the dupe for the Orgasm Blush. The one thing that I don't like is that it doesn't actually have the shade names on the component, but the shades are different enough that it's very easy to tell. So this one is Coral, this one is Candy. And they're both just gorgeous. Let's have a look and compare the Coral to the NARS Orgasm. Again, like the little thing in here as well is exactly the same. But so this is the Aldi, this is my NARS one, and I'm looking at it now, and the NARS one actually does look quite significantly darker, so let's try it against Candy. I feel like honestly if you mixed Coral and Candy you would get the perfect shade for the NARS blush. So this is the NARS blush, this is Candy. That looks much similar on camera, but we're going to try them out. And I'm just so excited because if I've found a NARS dupe for literally like a £5, I think I'm going to cry with happiness. Here are the swatches of all three of the blushes just on the back of my hand. This is the NARS Orgasm, this is the Aldi Coral, and this is Aldi Candy. As you can see, there is like a very subtle difference between these two, and honestly I still believe if you mixed Coral and Candy together you would get this shade perfectly. So let's go ahead, I'm so excited. Right, so this is NARS Orgasm. Get a good look. Very beautiful as always. This is the Aldi blush in Coral. And I did also switch my brushes to make sure that nothing was getting contaminated. And right off the bat, again, even though I don't think it's an exact match, I mean, come on, like, I'm really, really impressed. I'm gonna actually try topping it with just a tiny little bit of Candy, just to see. Ooh, pigment is really there, so you only need a tiny bit of Candy. But I think this honestly just kind of furthers my point that if you were to mix coral and candy together, you get pretty much the perfect NARS shade. Actually, potentially a little bit too dark, but if you just tapped a tiny bit of your leftover foundation from your blender or your brush or whatever over the top of this, I think that is really, really pretty. I think you can tell the difference like I can in the mirror, but it's really good, you guys. I would, if you're a NARS fan, I would honestly pick these up because I think you get enough product in them for them to last. It's not like you're going to have to be running to Aldi, traipsing the middle aisle, trying to desperately secure these in case you run out, because products like this, like I've had my NARS powder probably for about 3 years and it's still got at least a third of it left. You're not going to run out, but oh my god, I can't wait to wear this out and see how it lasts on like a night out because I'm impressed. After I've done my base, I always like to set my face with a setting spray. I never want to have to kind of be dealing with fixing my face during the night or the day, so I always try and just set it as much as possible. My tried and tested setting spray is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. This I picked up I think as part of like a Christmas sale a couple of years ago. But I couldn't pass up when I heard that this, which is the Lacura Makeup Setting Spray Long Lasting Setting Spray, this is the matte version. I think they do have another version. I was told that this is a dupe for the Urban Decay All Night Setting Spray, which is supposed to be amazing. I did also try this out at the weekend, and I'm going to do this on camera, so maybe you'll see what I mean. But basically, when I set my face with this spray at the weekend, bearing in mind I was wearing water-based face paint, the setting spray shot out at me like a water pistol. And I really hate that about setting sprays in general. It's why I love this Morphe one so much. So I'll just set this side of my face. As you can see, it's like a beautiful mist. And I'm going to attempt to set this side of my face with the Lacura one. I mean, it doesn't really look like anything different to the standard. I don't know whether it's because it's new, maybe it'll calm down, but let's give it a go. I'm scared. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but my face is like literally wet. And the thing is that it wets your face like where the spray actually hits you. Whereas with the Morphe one, because it's like such a nice mist, it will wet your face, but it kind of covers it evenly. This, I feel like just, like, it makes me scared to do it. And I feel like when I'm going like this, all my makeup is going to be setting into my fine lines. And I also feel like it's a total preference thing when you set your base with setting spray as to whether you press the setting spray into your base. I do sometimes, don't sometimes. I generally don't with the Morphe one unless it's an important occasion and I really want my makeup to look amazing. Because it's a continuous mist, it sets quite finely anyway. But with this, I do kind of feel like you have to be prepared to press it in so you get that even coverage of your face, because otherwise I think it might look a bit janky. The final product and potential dupe that I have to test for you guys is the Lacura Liquid Eyeliner Pen. Looks just like this, pretty standard, nothing particularly special. This is the one that I'm probably most interested in. I think I was most excited for the blush, most interested in the liner, because I have been told that this is a dupe for the Benefit Roller Liner, which I actually really don't like. So you might be thinking, well, why the hell are you buying the potential dupe for this? And the reason is because my absolute favourite liner of all time is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. This is a brand new one. Look at how beautiful it is. And this is from their Money Heist collection. And I mean, they just look like the same. I don't think there's anything particularly special about pen eyeliners like this. Like, what you get in terms of packaging is pretty standard. But again, the NYX one is my absolute all-time favourite. I don't think the price difference in these is too extreme to really like, unless this is the most amazing dupe that anybody has ever seen. I'll probably still use the NYX one, but for science, I'm very interested to see how it goes. Here is the finished liner look. So this is the Aldi side. This is the NYX Epic Ink side. And before I go any further with this particular segment of the video, I do just want to make it clear here, YouTube, that I'm talking about liquid eyeliners when I say the next few things. Liquid eyeliners, no more, no less. And with that being said, my main comment about how these two felt tip liners differ is that the Lacura one, the tip, was a lot firmer and harder than the NYX one. I know that NYX sometimes have a problem with their eyeliners being leaky, but this one was fine for me, and I do just feel like if you're wanting to get details with your liquid eyeliner, then a more flexible tip is going to help you out. Moving on, one thing that keeps me coming back to the NYX eyeliner, just like literally again and again and again, and probably forever, is how black it is and how black it sets down. So this is literally one coat of the NYX liner. You can see it's really, really black. It hasn't like creased anywhere. And this, on the other hand, is one coat of the Lacura liner. And I don't know if this is particularly picking up on camera right now, but in my mirror, this is a lot less black, and it also is creasing a little bit. I wore this eyeliner out the weekend as well, and I did find that I needed 2 coats of it, whereas with the NYX one, you really are only ever going to need one because it's so black. So for this, with the prices, like, I don't particularly think it's worth buying the Aldi one over the NYX one, but hey, if you're into like a really expensive liner, like, it might be worth a shot for you. But for me personally, my heart is always going to be with NYX. Okay, it's just the way it is. I've accepted that about myself. My final thoughts about all these products are basically, I think they are very good if you want to be spending less money on your beauty. For example, I think the primer is probably good enough for you to swap out your more expensive primer for it. For me personally, kind of base products are what I really am willing to spend my money on. Like, I love a good foundation primer, I love a good amazing powder, and I love a good eyeshadow primer. But things like eyeshadows, I know you can get cheap and very, very good quality. Primers and setting powders, I have found personally less so. However, I do think they hold up just fine. Again, if you wanna be spending less money on beauty, they hold up fine. When I wore them out the other night, they did a pretty good job. And even though for me, like with the with the face primer, I didn't like the texture of that, and with the setting spray, it does absolutely terrify me to apply it. I think it works fine, and I honestly think if you're looking at my face, like, if I asked you to tell me which side of my face was my normal, more high-end brands and which was the Aldi dupes, would you be able to? Like, because I don't think I would. Like, so I'm really impressed. The thing that I am most impressed with, and this was just going to be the way it was from the start, is definitely the blush. These blushes are so incredible. Like, even still with the swatches on my hand, like, I feel like the only dupe between these two, this is the NARS one, this is Coral by Aldi, is that the NARS one is like a tiny bit more pink. Just a tiny bit. Tiny enough to make a difference for me personally, but again, I used both Coral and Candy from Aldi here, and it looks the same. It looks the same. As well as the fact that, not sure if I mentioned this, but these compacts, like, I would love to know if Aldi is going to get sued over this, because they are the same, they have the same finish, they both feel super velvety, they have the same, like, plastic insert to cover the product. Like, it's crazy. But you know what, if you're a fan of blush, and specifically if you're a fan of NARS Blush, run, don't walk to Aldi to pick these up, because oh my god, like, so worth it, so worth it. There were a couple of other products. I will link down below the TikTok, which is where I saw all the dupes and what they supposedly were. They're supposed to be really good mascara dupes. I don't really care about mascara, I'm not gonna lie. My eyelashes are tiny, I'm always wearing lashes in drag, so mascara to me doesn't really matter. What I did want to try was the body foundation, which is supposed to be a dupe for the KKW Body Glow. I tried a little bit on the back of my hand when I was in store and didn't really rate it. And I'm trying not to just like buy beauty products like unsustainably, and you know, I've got so much makeup, I really don't need any more. But that being said, this was a really fun video. I'm glad that I did it. I hope that this has helped you, and I hope that literally you're all running to Aldi to buy these products, and come back into my comments section and let me know which ones you liked, which ones you think are legit dupes, and which ones you maybe are swapping your luxury brands out for. Please do let me know. As always, I'm so interested just to chat to you guys and see if what works for me also works for you. I'm going to leave this here. Let me know, as always, if you want to see more videos like this, and hopefully I will see you next time.